Now, this next one's going to upset me. I just know it. I'm already, this motherfucker, I'm already feeling it. I'm already, this is, again, this guy worked, talk about a Russian connection. This motherfucker worked for Trump for free to pay off his debts to the Russians. And she has him on his show? Or is she playing a clip? I haven't watched this, so.
Joining us now is Paul Manafort, former.
Nope, yep, she brought him on. Paul Manafort, the guy who pimps his mentally disabled wife out to dudes on Craigslist and arranged for snipers to kill protesters in Ukraine as part of the Euromaidan, working for Yanukovych.
Trump campaign manager. He helped manage.
Well, gratis, by the way. Don't leave that out. He didn't even want to get paid.
Ford's 1976 convention battle, which is relevant considering what may be happening down the road. Paul, good to see you tonight.
Is it? Is it, Laura? Is it good to see him tonight?
Voters may not even get the opportunity to put Biden in for another 4 years, right?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Really? We're going with the whole, it's going to be Gavin Newsom or it's going to be Michelle Obama. That's the storyline at Fox. This is the wishful thinking. I mean, I guess you would have to go there, right? You'd have to go there if your candidate and your party keeps getting dunked on by an 81-year-old man. You'd have to just go after him like, hey, this guy's senile. Why? Because only a old fuck like that could kick my ass so easily.
Democrats still do have a chance to dump him at the convention, especially after, the Her report and his performance since. What would happen if Democrats ended up with this type of contested convention?
All right. Yeah, no, Jon Stewart's leaning into this. Jon, booby. Part of why we got Trump was because Jon Stewart decided to tap out at a really weird point. And then all of a sudden, he's tapping back in to give this kind of like both sides mockery in the middle of it. It's a little fucked up, Jon. It's a little fucked up. The timing is curious. Because I genuinely think that if Jon had stayed on in 2016 through it and just continued to do the show as he was doing it, he would have chewed a hole in Trump, but he decided to just walk away at a weird moment. Very weird time. You know what I mean? It's sort of the opposite of RBG. And now when he comes back, they're launching him right into this, and the whole thing is like, well, both sides got old guys, and they're both, oh my gosh, and some sketchy shit. Yeah. The timing is very odd. Didn't like it. And I met Jon when he had first gotten the Daily Show, and he was like, "This is a cush gig. I don't really give a shit. They play these segments. I work about 12 minutes a show. I put my feet up while they play the segments, and then off I go." And then it turned into a thing. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say, I saw the report that he did, and I side-eyed the whole time. I was like, "Really? That's where you want to go with this? You're gonna both sides, like one guy fumfering on a word or switching the name of a country while talking about multiple borders and dealing with multiple border issues in a press conference, and another guy who's saying not only will we not defend NATO countries, but I would encourage Russia to kill everybody there, and that's the same thing. What am I saying? I'm saying it's dickish. I think it's curious. I don't have any, I couldn't say, by the way, because I think he genuinely cared about the PACT Act, but it's curious that even he doesn't seem to be aware right now that the PACT Act passed because Biden was there and would sign it. And Trump's party, with or without him, ran against it. that all the wailing and gnashing of teeth and the difficulty about passing the PACT Act that John cared so much about was totally supported by the Democrats and totally denied by the majority of the Republicans. That doesn't matter though, because it's all just like, well, comedy's comedy. I don't know. Jon Stewart is still salty about the Israel-Hamas situation. I haven't seen his take on it, so I can't. I will look it up, but I find this funky. It's pronounced Moscow as in cafe au lait. Oh, Moscow, Moskva, right? Yeah. We follow the Moskva down to Gonky Park. Yeah. So, anyways, this is a fucking stupid talking point, and I never need to hear another word come out of fucking Paul Manafort's mouth ever again. And I think the essence of this clip is, fuck you, Laura Ingraham, for having this dude on who is the marriage rape version of Jeffrey Epstein. This guy is a fucking scumbag. I don't care what his position was in the Trump organization or the campaign or any of that shit. There were hundreds of people involved in that process. There were dozens of people involved in his cabinet. You have most of them on fucking speed dial. The idea that you would even go near this motherfucker says either you fought for it, which is fucking crazy, or your producers fought for it, which is also fucking crazy, or Fox is still somehow playing footsie with this motherfucker and helping him. She's now the rehab person for him. Yeah, just that fucking gross. Ugh. It's good. I had to tap out on that one because I was not the dude is so fucking disgusting. And I you know how I often on the show I'll go and I'll find an article and show you what I'm talking about and that kind of stuff. But honestly, it turns my stomach. I have no interest. If you need to find that stuff out there, look up Manafort's daughter's text messages. What happened to his wife? She was in a car accident and she was left mentally disabled by it. And so he would hire dudes off of Craigslist and shit to have sex with her, and she hated it and she found it debasing, and her daughters complained about it and they don't talk to him anymore because of it. It's horrifying. It's just he's so gross. It used to, Jesus Christ, it used to be a thing where something like that would just be like, holy shit, you hired that guy? No, there's no fucking way you can be president, right? That just your association with that kind of a person would disqualify you. I honestly think part of it is there's like a meter. There's like a window of horrifyingly disgusting, but not so gross you can't talk about it on television. That's the sweet spot for where somebody can be disqualified based on their actions. If it's below that point where it's just like, it sounds terrible, but we can talk about it, and the standard about what we talk about has gotten higher and higher and higher over time thanks to true crime and Donald Trump, essentially, that there's so much more you can say that's inside the window of what we'll put up with. And then there's this little window of okay, that's over the line. And then there's something past that, which is just so darkly fucked up and grotesque that most people don't even know about it. They know that he was, he worked with Trump for free to pay off his debts to the Russians and that kind of stuff. But the rest of that, story, somehow it skated behind the scenes. I think largely because on television, imagine any newscaster that you know of just bringing up that fucking conversation. Right?